Okay, we're gonna go ahead now and jump right in, and we're gonna look at two different ways that you can create groups. But then ultimately, we're gonna jump over to the Azure portal for the actual creation of the group, since that's where you're gonna do a dynamic group at. All right. So we'll start with the Microsoft portal, Microsoft 365 portal. So we can go to admin.microsoft.com. Okay, we're going to drop down where it says groups, click on groups, then we would click add a group, and this is where you can see that you can create the 4 different types of groups here. So Office 365 being used for team collaboration, as you can see there, shared workspaces, all that good stuff. You start getting into teams and being able to collaborate, communicate, video meetings, those types of things. Distribution groups being the group that gets an email address but can't be given any permissions. Mail-enabled security group being the group that gets both. You get an email address as well as you can assign permissions to it. And then finally, a security group, which is just for permissions, just for access control. So these are your options through the Microsoft 365 portal. Pretty easy to go through, just fill out the information. Now, let's take a look over at the portal.azure.com now. Okay, drop down and we're going to take a look at Azure Active Directory, groups. We're going to click new group. This is going to be a security group. Notice that you have just a couple of types of groups here. And then we're going to call this iPhone devices. Give it a description if we want. I'm going to choose to make it a dynamic device group. So I told you guys you can do a sign group, which is just a static group. It's a group where you have to manually add devices or users to it or manually remove it. Okay. You can do a dynamic user group, which is going to be query based, but it's going to be geared towards users. And then you can do a dynamic device group. Now in my case, since I am going to be creating a group called iPhone devices that's going to be assigning iPhones to the device whenever iPhones get associated with my cloud, I'm going to want to go with dynamic device. Okay, so I can go here and say select dynamic members, and then I'm going to choose the property attribute I want, which is going to be device OS type, then the operator, which is going to be equals, and then the value. Now the value is going to be based upon how the device identifies itself. iPhone devices identify themselves with that right there. Now if you are ever concerned about like uppercase, lowercase, any of that, you can always add another expression, and then you can choose same thing, equals, and then if you want you could just type it with lowercase. And then here is the actual syntax that it's using. You don't actually have to type that in, although there's pretty advanced things you can do if you learn their syntax. You can edit this directly. Once you've done that, you're pretty much done. You just hit save, click create, and there you have it. Created yourself a dynamic group for iPhone devices.